Guys, I dropped my beloved Legalis at the bottom of the lake, like all the way on the bottom. It wasn't deep, so I got another rod and managed to snag it and bring it back in the boat, but it did stay on the bottom for about 10 minutes or so. So I'm gonna make a very quick video to tell you what happened after that. When I got it back in the boat, it looked totally fine to me. I even fished it a little bit after that, and I couldn't tell any difference from the fact that it was underwater for 10 minutes. So I took it home and I forgot about it. 2 weeks later, going back crappie fishing, getting the reel out of the boat, and it's completely seized. I got it to spin again, but it was rough now, and also there was one spot that would kinda seize or scratch on every turn of the handle. I did most of the fishing that day with this reel on purpose, so hoping that the rough spot on the gears would go away, but it didn't. So when I got home, the first thing on the next day was to open the reel and see what's up. Now, the first thing I noticed when I took the spool off was that there was dirt on top of the spool, as you can see, but there was no dirt inside where the drag washer stack is. I mean, I wouldn't mind replacing these felt washers with real carbon ones anyway, but it's good to know that 10 minutes underwater is not enough for dirt to get by the drag washers. And here is what the reel looks inside. Now, opening this reel is not too hard, but it's not that easy either. The only problem is removing the main gear. To remove the main gear, you gotta go on the other side first, find this little clip here, grab it with a needle or something, remove it, and then you can remove the main gear. Now, look how clean this reel is inside after 10 minutes underwater. This is good news and bad news. Good news because it looks like it's not so easy for water to enter the reel, even though it has no seals, and even if you submerge it completely underwater. But it's also bad news because if there is no dirt here, then why did my reel seize? I would have rather found some dirt here that I can clean and the reel becomes smooth again. Look how clean this white grease inside is. This grease has never seen dirt. And here is the main gear of Daiwa Legalis LT if you haven't seen it. It's aluminum, so it wouldn't rust even if it's salt water. After 15 to 20 hours of use, this main gear still looks brand new, not even a scratch on it anywhere. As far as I'm concerned, as long as you have brand new gear, you have brand new reel. But I still haven't found why my reel seized. Now I'm thinking that water got under spool and to the pinion gear. Then when the water dried out, the dirt stuck to the pinion gear and glued the pinion gear and the main gear together. That's my theory anyway. The only other possible explanation is for water to get in the anti-reverse bearing. Then when the water dries out, it becomes like a glue and makes the anti-reverse bearing seize. But luckily this bearing was also very clean, pristine clean, so I just oiled it a little bit and put it back together, so it has to have been the pinion gear. And that's lucky because this bearing, if it was dirty and seized, it's just about impossible to clean. I know some people do it, but I've tried and I have never succeeded cleaning an anti-reverse bearing, so if that was the problem, I would have to buy a new one, while cleaning the pinion gear is very easy. So let's go see the pinion gear. And when I started wiping the pinion gear, right away I knew that that was the problem. It had a lot of very fine dirt on it. But unlike the anti-reverse bearing, a pinion gear is super easy to clean. You can use toothbrush or just a paper towel like me, and I really got it shining. Look at this pinion gear. I don't think on the day I bought it, it looked any better. I mean, yeah, it's brass, not aluminum like the main gear, but look, this thing doesn't have a single scratch anywhere. This pinion gear is still in brand new condition. So let's oil and grease everything back and put the reel back together. And here it is, finally in all its glory, cleaned, oiled, greased, feeling smooth, sounding quiet, just like the day I bought it. Now, here is what I learned from this whole adventure. First of all, it appears that for some strange reason, the first entry point for water for this reel is under the spool and to the pinion gear. If you ever dink your reel or it gets rained real hard, you know what you need to clean. But also, which made me very happy, after examining the main gear and the pinion gear very closely, it appears that the durability of the gears on this reel look very promising right now, because after 15-20 hours of use they still look like brand new. I want to make one more point before I leave you guys. If you've seen my previous reviews of the Daiwa Legalis, you know, even the time I first touched it at the Daiwa booth at the Fishing Expo, and I tried all of the new Daiwa LT reels, I said that I like the Legalis the most of the entire LT series. Why? Because when you turn the handle, there is no resistance. No resistance when you turn the handle is a feature of the most expensive reels out there, made of magnesium and whatnot. And today, after fishing with these reels for a few months, I can confirm that my first impression was spot on. The exceller, the beautiful black tatula, the ballistic definitely have more resistance when you turn the handle than this cheap little Legalis LT. The Fuego, the only other reel in this LT series from Daiwa, while I hate the look and feel of it, I have to admit that it feels just as light as the Legalis LT. But for me, the Legalis, the cheapest reel of the series, is the most enjoyable to fish of all of them, regardless of price. It is just the most enjoyable. You know, the way I jig these little 1 gram tubes for crappie, and I want to feel when this little thing touches the bottom, I want to feel it all the way in the handle. No other reel gives me the sensitivity of a 1 gram jig all the way to the handle. Now please understand that I'm not saying that the Legalis is the best reel. I'm just saying that for my microfishing, it's the most enjoyable. The more expensive reels have higher gear ratios and have more seals, which is good, but it adds resistance when you turn the handle, and I just don't like that. So I just wanted to share this with you. I hope you don't misunderstand me and take it for what it is.